beautiful beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com and welcome to this next finished jewelry update. This is where I come back and share with you guys some of the pieces that I have made from the boxes and various places that I have received beads over the past recent weeks and months. These are just some videos to show you what I've been up to and hopefully provide you with some inspiration and ideas, because some of us get some similar products. It's great to see a wide variety of different things you can do with them, and maybe something here will spur your interest. I also like to talk a little bit about my process, about why I came up with things and what I used, so you can get an idea of what's going on in my noggin while I'm doing some creating behind the scenes, and who knows, maybe that'll help you too. Before we get into today's video, I am excited to announce that it is sponsored by Skillshare, so I'd like to briefly talk to you a little bit about them, and then we'll dive into these pieces. Now, chances are you've probably heard of them by now, but if not, Skillshare, it's an online learning community for creative individuals, and millions of people come together to take their next steps in their own creative journey. They offer thousands of inspiring classes for artistic and creative people on topics such as illustration, design, photography, video, productivity, and so much more. Now, this month I discovered a class called Social Media for the Creative Entrepreneur: Exposure, Tips, and Pros and Cons. I know a lot of you guys are interested in starting to sell your beaded jewelry online, and I think no matter if you are just trying to share your art or reach a wider customer base, this course has a lot of tips and tricks that would be relevant to you as well. I think this is a great time to take advantage of this free trial offer of Skillshare. Normally it's less than $10 per month, but because they're sponsoring today's video, the first 1,000 people who do click the link below will have the opportunity to try them out absolutely free for 2 months. You can check out all the classes they had to offer, unlimited, with hands-on projects and actual real feedback from a community of millions of others. So if you're interested in that, just click on the personalized link down below the video to sign up and try them out with no obligation. All right, so what you're looking at here is a necklace that is based around this absolutely stunning ruby red Swarovski fancy cut stone. The Swarovski 25 by 18 millimeter to be exact. And it honestly took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do with it. This is a very special stone because of its size. And I also love red. I just wanted to be able to do this thing justice. I'm moving it around slightly because it's so sparkly and I want you to see that. But lately I've been having some fun behind the scenes, going back to some basics, like some basic tubular stitches, ways to use seed beads, all things that I hope to share as time goes on in the future. But that led me to creating this rope, and this rope is done out of a stitch called prismatic right angle weave. It's kind of like cubic right angle weave, except that I used 5 seed beads around instead of 4. So instead of making more of a square shape, it makes more of a round shape. As I was playing with it, and as I was playing with the different colors of seed beads, and by the way, all of these things came from the Eureka Crystal Beads Poppy Fields collection from the month of May. All of these seed beads, including the size 6/0s right here, and of course the stone. But as I was playing around, I realized how pretty that could be as a bezel for the stone, and also unique, just something different instead of doing a peyote stitch around it. So I spent a lot of time on this. If you saw me share this a little while ago on social media, you'll see that I did change the look of it, especially up here a little bit, to get the look I was achieving. And that's just all part of the process. Seeing how things go, sometimes you have to rip it apart and go in a different direction. But finally, I got the look that I was trying to achieve, and it's all pretty much done by doing prismatic right angle weave, and then I did some peyote to cinch it up back there in the different seed beads, brought in some 15-0s there to cinch it up around the back, and also cinched up the ring right here to keep that stone in place. I didn't want to just do the 11-0 seed beads. That's why I brought in some of these cherry red 6-0s, because I thought they made some beautiful accents. And I started with just beading the pendant, and then I finished up by doing the ropes, and I actually was able to create 2 ropes coming off of a 5 bead prismatic right angle weave. That was pretty cool. I hope to share exactly how I made this in the future, because there's just a lot of things going on and a lot of directions you could go in with this. So really excited about how this came out. And then as you can see, I brought up some more of those 6-0s along this rope chain to kind of tie it all together and formed these little beaded beads going up the rope. Then I glued on these cord ends to give it this nice, clean, finished look and added the hook and eye clasp. Then next, here are all the pieces that I made from the April and May Potomac Beads Best Bead Boxes patterns that they sent along with the beads that they sent. First up here is the Tea Time bracelet that came last month by designer Anna Taylor. This was a pretty simple design using seed beads and iris duos to create this delicate and dainty bracelet. I do like the colors, the muted green and tone of mauve there in combination. And it worked up pretty easily, and then finished that off with the button clasp that they sent as well. Here you can also see the Ocean Flower earrings by designer Bridget Coyer, and the only thing I will say about these is those post earrings seem to tarnish extremely fast. Oh my goodness, I didn't even have them out that long, so I'll have to clean those up. But they were another very quick and easy project that included the Eva beads and also the oval duos, and glued on some of their oval flat backs. Then next I made the Geisha earrings. These were another one from April, and they were a little bit more time intensive just because when you look at the back, you can tell how there was some weaving going on the back, which was pretty cool. I enjoyed following that technique and seeing how those were done. And they used these really cool dome beads. Mine came with that beautiful AB finish, which I think really sets them off. Those, of course, were by designer Allie Buckman, and then so was this pendant. This is the Zoli Duo Fan Pendant that came last month with all the beads included. I really like the use of these cream color melon beads. I think that's a great accent to the Zoli Duos they sent to use. And I actually didn't use any videos to go along with the written pattern. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what I have going on. But I was able to follow the written pattern solely to do these projects that they sent. Sometimes it's easier to follow on the video, but these patterns were pretty self-explanatory. So if you're starting to get into bead weaving, especially if you are looking to work with some more interesting specialty shapes, like some of the ones you see here, I'd highly recommend their box because you get everything you need, and it's a great way to learn a variety of different techniques. Next up, I have this pretty simple but elegant necklace, and this is what I would call a team effort between Bead Crate and the Bargain Bead Box. Now, I usually come back every month and share an exclusive Bargain Bead Box finished jewelry update, but I've had a lot of you guys asking for finished pieces from the other boxes as well, and just due to the fact that beading takes a lot of time and so does everything else, and while I'd love to do dedicated videos on everything, I have to be realistic. And since I've done so many of the finished jewelry updates exclusively with Bargain Bead Box items, I thought it would be nice to switch it up a little bit from time to time. So with this one, I have brought in a couple of pieces, as you can see, where I used items from the past box, but I'm also trying to share with you some pieces that incorporate a lot of the beads from other boxes from the previous month too. So I made this simple set with some wire wrapped links. And here you can see, of course, that very elegant Amazonite teardrop pendant, that slice there. And I just brought in some of the colors that were coming out of that pendant, like the faceted dyed quartz rondelle beads in the teal color that they sent. And then these camel colored check glass beads were from Bead Crate. So nothing particularly groundbreaking or earth-shattering with this piece at all, but it's simple, it's classic, it's elegant, it's very wearable and more light and breezy, which is what I was going for. Finished it off with some of the chain that they had included. And then this was also a kind of Bead Crate Bargain Bead Box mixture that went with that as well. You can see I brought in some more of the quartz teal colored beads, and then Bead Crate had sent these shell beads, and I figured shells, they're clear, they're beachy, they kind of go along with that necklace. And they were chunky enough that I could do a simple just wire wrap design overlay on the top to tie in that gold wire and gold chain and set them off. So again, just a simple, elegant piece that could go with the necklace, and then added a little extender chain coming off the end. And then a pair of earrings made from the contents of the box with those coin pearl connectors, and then those glass teardrop beads hanging off the bottom. Really quick and easy project, but also elegant, and also kind of goes with the other pieces I shared here. So many great items in that May box, in my opinion, very beach themed. These just happen to be some of the items that jumped out at me right away. And I have so much bead weaving to share with you guys this time. I wanted to balance it out with a little something else. Next up here is one of my brand new designs, and this came straight from the Adornable Elements Rotating Beads of the Month Club, the Hot and Trendy Club that I just recently shared. And they challenged me to come up with a new design to come back with a tutorial on later this month using something from the box, and I really wanted to use as much as I could from the box. The color scheme was called Antique Floral, and in addition to the dusty blue and the gray and this caramelly tone, they had some wine red, which I didn't pull into this piece, but I really liked this kind of unexpected colorway. This is something I wouldn't have ordinarily put together, but I really like how it came out. They sent these octo beads, which have 3 holes, as well as the Cali beads with 3 holes. And I knew I wanted to go with something using the Cali beads. As I started laying them out on my mat, I noticed how well the 3 holes on the Cali beads would line up with the octo beads. So then I pulled those in. And I wanted to find a way to pull all these together, and that's where these little gray gecko beads and the 1 beads came in, which I supplemented with some 15-0 seed beads and some 3mm fire polish from my stash, which have more of that caramelly warm color that the Cali beads had and kind of gives this a little bit more balance. To show you a little bit more of an example of my design process for that, this is one of the preliminary designs that I was working off of, then turned into this, which is a better put together design. I still like the look of this one. However, I wasn't happy with some of the gaps in this middle section. I had first pulled in some 2mm fire polish beads and they were just a little bit too small. In addition to that, I wasn't thrilled with the way the 1 beads were sitting. Those are these little slivers here. They're little oval shaped beads. And I just felt like it could be better. That is how my process works. I build on one thing after another and I keep tweaking. And it's really hard for me to capture that on camera for you guys because I don't know when inspiration is going to strike and I don't know what things are going to work out, and I can't just sit there with the camera rolling all the time because I feel like that will actually kill my creativity. So anyway, this evolved into the bracelet that I will be sharing later this month. I'll be doing a tutorial on this and may even do another colorway because I do already have all of these beads in different colors. So stay tuned for that. As far as this one goes, I still really like it, and I think I'm going to tweak this and turn this into another spin-off down the road using some other similar beads. It kind of looks like a beanstalk, like Jack and the Beanstalk. So that's just a tiny glimpse into my process and how things sort of evolve. Then next, since these were not on the last finished jewelry update, I figured I'd bring these in to share with you guys. A lot of you have probably seen that I posted a half Tila herringbone bracelet. This is a very common and basic bead weaving stitch, but I had a lot of requests to do a video on this, even though this process has been covered in videos before. But sometimes you watch somebody else do something and then things click, or maybe you had forgotten about an idea, and bringing back a tutorial like this kind of jogs your memory or makes you think about something different. So I already shared these 3 on that tutorial. I won't go into anything about these. This was one that I was making swatches of in the tutorial, and here's the finished product using the black and white half Tila beads and some gold 15-0 seed beads to set them off. These are actually pretty addictive to make. They're a lot of fun once you get going, and they feel amazing. They're thin and slinky and light, but so elegant. And there's a lot of color patterns and different widths and all kinds of things you can get into with these beads and the stitch. Since we're on the topic of tutorials, this is the Sanibel Pendant that I created in the recent tutorial that I shared but didn't make it to the previous finished jewelry update. So here that is, using all these beautiful tones of blue and then the silver Moby duos. Everything here was from EurekaCrystalBeads.com. The 2 different colors of gem duos and various seed beads. There's a look at the back. So if you're interested in this tutorial, I also had some other colorways, but that is just a look at the one that I had completed in the video. And I just love these backlit gem duos that are on the face. As they move around, they just seem to glow. Now, my last update, I did share with you this brand new design that I created using the rondelles from a previous bargain bead box, as well as some of these crystal rose Monties. There's the back of that. You can see how those Monties, you can sew them into projects for embroidery, but you can also use them in bead weaving. They give a similar look to cup chain when they're used together, especially in a straight line, but you have a bit more control over where you place them. and they're a little bit easier to work with since they don't slide around. So that tutorial will be coming, and the reason I showed you that was because I came up with two other colorways. Here is the black and red. I used the red Rose Montes that came in the May Poppy Fields Eureka Crystal Beads collection, and I thought they looked absolutely stunning against these black rondelles and seed beads. What a combination. So there's the back of that. Looks like fiery lava or something. Really cool combination there. And then literally a cooler combination. This one is one where I wanted to experiment with using fire polish as opposed to the rondelles, and it worked out great. So you can also use some 3mm fire polish in this design. There's a different type of Rose Monte. These are the jet with the AB finish, and then some of the nickel plated seed beads there. So I like to try to do different variations before I produce those tutorial videos because I like to try to experiment with different ways of putting the design together and maybe giving some other options for alternate materials you can use. If you have, say, fire polish but don't have the rondelles, you can use them interchangeably. So be on the lookout for that tutorial. That one may come in July. One that should be coming a little bit sooner than that is the Poolside Bracelet. I shared this design in two other colorways in the last finished jewelry update. These using the Helios and the Cheops Parpuka beads, two different colors of super duos, some fire polish, and some seed beads. This is the colorway that I used in the tutorial I recently filmed but haven't shared yet to give you another idea of what that could look like in a different set of colors. There is the look at the back of that. I've just been really inspired, particularly with bead weaving lately. I'll bring these back in. So these will all be upcoming tutorial videos, as well as hopefully downloadable patterns as time goes on. And then next I have a custom order to share with you. I had a client contact me via Instagram, and I'm actually not quite sure if she's a viewer or if she just found me there, but she requested that I make these 3 rings for her. And I told her I was happy to, and these are the color choices that she picked out: the gold and black stripe, the white and black stripe, and then the black with the aqua blue in the center. And I sent her a picture of these completed rings before she paid for them or anything, and she said she's really excited to get those. So these of course are done in the process of even count peyote stitch. I do have a video that I shared way back when, closer to the start of my channel. If you're curious as to how to make these, I do show you how to make this variety. And I also have videos sharing these in a couple of other patterns, one with a little heart, one with a flower and vine design, and also one doing odd count peyote, which has a strip that's 9 beads wide as opposed to 8. So I would be shipping these 3 off to her in just a couple days, but it reminded me to let you guys know my site has been in the process of being migrated to a different host. That is why I haven't updated it in a while. They are telling me it should be done next week. So hopefully that'll be the case. It keeps getting pushed off by the company who's working on it, unfortunately. But I have a lot of plans for the site, including continuing to add my finished pieces to it in case there's anything you're interested in. For now, if there's something you are interested in that you don't see listed on my site, just send me an email or contact me in some other way and I can set up a simple ordering process for you. Always happy to do that, but I can't wait to get that site moved over so I can fully utilize that the way that I want to. And then last but not least, yes, you saw this necklace before. This is another original design I shared last month, but I also spent some time playing with some different colorways and wanted to share those with you. I also came up with an earring design to go with this, and it's an upcoming tutorial that I look forward to sharing with you guys too. So I beaded 5 more of these portions, which I haven't put on chain yet, but that's easy enough. The beading portion is at least done. So here is the first out of the 5, using some of these topaz backlit gem duos, some of the flat teardrops in this metallic gold, and these Tinos beads by Parpuka. I just love this combination, the way it lays, and how all of these fit together. Here is the next one in this very bright pink gem duo and black combination. I'm always a big fan of hot pink and black together, and brought in some silver as well. Here's a combination of some of these electric blue and black teardrops. The gem duos have some of that blue on them as well, the black tinos, and then brought in some navy blue check glass pearls to bring this one all together. And a lot of these beads actually have ended up coming from the Beads of the Month clubs, particularly the flat teardrops, because I noticed they're actually kind of hard to find. They do have some on Etsy. Here's the 4th additional colorway in this golden flax and kind of coppery peach look. These flat teardrops are so unique, and they've got this golden luster over the top you can kind of see under the light. Plus the tones in there seem to go with these coppery gem duos and the gold at the same time. There's a look at the back. So this is actually reversible, where you've got the backlit appearance of the gem duos on this side, and then on the other side you have more of a solid metallic copper. Pretty cool combination. And then this one is really cool because it's also reversible in a different way. I used 2 different beads that are actually reversible. So these are a backlit flat teardrop, and these are a backlit gem duo, and I had them flip-flopped because the colors are a little bit different, but if you flip them over, it gives you essentially 2 different necklaces. This one, as you can see, has more of the purple and blue and golden tones of color accented by the metallic silver, but if you flip it over, voila, there is a blue and green combination because of the way the gem duos are silver on the back, and then these have the color coming through on this side. Both of them went with those little blue 2mm fire polish and of course the little silver seed beads, but it's kind of neat. You get 2 different effects depending on what side you decide to wear. And then I made this earring design that was pretty simple and goes along with that necklace pattern. So it's one I'll be sharing in the future also along with the necklace tutorial, where it incorporates all the beads used in the necklace and it gives you a quick and easy pair of earrings that you can create to match. So those of course were the blue and black combination. Here is the reversible combination, which you can flip around and get a different look. And then these other combinations, which I haven't put on the ear wires yet. Well, that's all I have for you guys this time for this finished jewelry update installment. I hope it provided you with some ideas and inspiration, maybe a little bit of excitement for some tutorials to come or some spin-offs, or maybe it helped jog some ideas for some things you have in your own personal stash. I personally find that bead weaving is almost a sort of therapy for me, so I think that's why I've been just extra into it lately. When things get a little extra crazy, it helps me to keep my hands busy and focused on something creative and beautiful, and putting these shapes together is almost like a little jigsaw puzzle for my brain. But we're all wired differently, we like different things, and no matter what it is you like to use, or for what purpose, we're all just here to have fun and to share. And I'm just so grateful to have you guys with me and for making this such a fun little community. Feel free to leave me a comment or a question down below. I always love to hear from you. Don't forget to check out the link below the video to Skillshare to sign up for 2 months completely free. And a huge thank you to them for sponsoring today's video, because that really does help out my channel quite a bit. Of course, I hope you'll stay tuned for a lot more to come. And until next time, I just hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, happy beading. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can check out the information section below this video for links to all my social media handles, recommended products, and my shop and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching.